welcome back to Panic Butter. This is Tony. How you doing today? Are we truly alone? That's the question. Let's get into some clips featuring aliens, what might be hidden below, some strange encounters, unexplained phenomena. Are you ready? Some weird stuff's been going on. Everything from drones to more strange alien encounters. A lot of Bigfoot. A lot. Are you ready? First up, the anonymous whistleblower. What they provided. Is it real? It's an egg. But what was in it? That's what we want to find out. And at the end, we're going to hear it. Is it true though? Here we go.
This morning at 8:05, and then again a little after 10 o'clock, an anonymous poster on 4chan said that in Antarctica, they were part of secret operations to retrieve an egg-shaped UAP or UFO in a cave in Antarctica in Queen Elizabeth's Range that had petroglyphs or hieroglyphs on the egg and on the wall of the cave, and also an alien was sleeping inside of this pod. Now, I don't know if this is real or not. I don't know if it's created with artificial intelligence, but this was posted this morning at 8:05. And it says, these are some of the photos from the Antarctica retrieval mission in Queen Elizabeth's Range, that it's an egg UAP from another angle, hieroglyphs on the cave's wall that could mean petroglyphs. And also there was an entity sleeping inside the pod, and they showed that in these photos from two different angles. So there you have it. I don't know if these are real or not, but just recently on News Nation with Ross Coulthart, we had vetted and real Delta Force and Green Beret operators and special forces, guys like Jacob Barber, all coming forward and saying that they transported egg-shaped UAPs and UFOs on secret operations and crash recovery teams that even included remote viewers and psychic tacticians, or what they called psionic assets, that did remote viewing to telepathically capture these UFOs. And they said that a lot of times they were giant eggs, like 20-foot eggs. The same poster on 4chan released just like a couple of hours later this video footage of allegedly the same egg transported over Antarctica with a cargo lift from a helicopter, and then you can see some kind of a square blanket or platform or sled underneath this giant egg, and it is strapped up and being hoisted out. And if it's the same pictures of the egg in the cave with the alien, we have to assume that there was also a team that recovered all the rest of those artifacts, including the alien sleeping inside of that pod. So things are getting super weird, but think about it. What would you do if you were in possession of this kind of footage? Let's say you were on one of these special operations teams. You were like a Green Beret or Delta Force guy, and you had this footage in your hands going inside a cave in Antarctica and retrieving an alien egg, UFO or UAP. And remember, Jacob Barber said that when they went and captured these eggs, a lot of times, or these UAPs, they would come right out of the mountain, out of solid ground, or out of the ground itself, or out of the ocean, just like be able to phase through the solid material of the mountain and fly around. And then they would use psionic assets or telepaths, remote viewers, to telepathically take control of the alien or the craft, and then bring them down and crash land them or land them on the ground. And then the Delta Force operators or Air Force guys would go in and capture all of the stuff. So I don't know if these are real or not, or if these were created in AI, but think about what you would do if you were a Delta Force operator and you had been sitting on all of this since 2022, some secret mission in Antarctica. And then all of a sudden, Jacob Barber comes out on News Nation with Ross Coulthart and does this whole disclosure and reveals an egg UAP being transported by helicopter. Can you think of a better time? I mean, I would do it. I would be like, okay, I'm going to go on Reddit or on 4chan, or I would probably just post it right onto YouTube or whatever and try to get it out. But you would try to find a way where you could anonymously, through a VPN and some anonymous account, be able to leak the stuff out. But it's hard to say if it's real or not, if any of this is real or not. But you kind of have to take these special forces operators and Delta Force guys' word for it. If they were the pilots of the helicopters, don't you think they would know? They would know if they were airlifting a balloon that was full of helium, which they wouldn't do anyways. They would not be airlifting a balloon or a blimp with a helicopter. They would know if it was like a heavy object or something substantial. And not only did they say that, but they said they knew that these things were of non-human origin or non-human intelligence. Jacob Barber, in his testimony, even went on to say that when he had a 20-mile transport of one of these objects, that he even had a telepathic connection kind of overwhelm him, and he got really emotional, and that it really drastically affected his life and even his spirituality. So it's pretty fascinating stuff. Is it true that we live in a reality where we share existence with these egg-shaped UFOs? And what is the pilot inside? What are the aliens that are flying these things? And do they stay inside their pod in the cave and pilot it with telepathy? And then the human remote viewer is just more powerful and takes it over and they capture it? Or are the aliens actually inside of these eggs? Like, what's inside the eggs? It's really fascinating. So if this stuff is real, we're in a total paradigm shift in 2025. We're going to have to wait and see if these anonymous posters come out and tell us the full story and who they are. But so far, we've got Jacob Barber and all of his friends, multiple vetted and valid Green Beret, Delta Force operators, and Air Force special operators, all saying that these are real UFOs and they're not human. What do you think? Let me know.
A lot of interesting theories on it. What do you think? It's out there. We're going to hear more on it at the end and what may very well have happened. So what was inside? Here we go.
American people are ready to receive the truth.
Humanity is not the only intelligence in the universe.
Humanity is not the only intelligent species.
We are absolutely not alone.
Non-human intelligence exists.
UAPs are real, they're here, and they're not human. I spent 25 years as a senior official with the CIA.
I worked on highly classified UAP programs.
28 years as an astrophysicist.
I served as the 4th Director of National Intelligence.
Director of Aviation Security in the National Security Council.
A one-star admiral after 32 years of service.
People that come forward with this, I feel like they've taken their life in their own hands.
I was recruited to a highly sensitive government program that investigated unidentified aerial phenomena.
For over 16 years, on behalf of the U.S. government, I worked as a senior intelligence official on the unidentified aerial phenomenon topic.
We learned that the U.S. government was involved in a long-running secret war with other nations to collect and reverse engineer vehicles not made by humans.
I have seen with my own eyes non-human craft and non-human beings.
There's a whole fleet of them.
The first country that cracks the code on this technology will be the leader for years to come.
China has established its own version of a UAP task force.
You think for a second that they wouldn't consider using it to achieve their ends of domination?
This is similar to the Manhattan Project. This is the atomic weapon on steroids.
This is so secret. Very, very few people in our entire government have been allowed access to it.
Even presidents have been operating on a need-to-know basis. But that begins to ramp out of control.
It's not acceptable to have secret parts of government that no one ever sees.
You better be careful about a government that doesn't trust its people, because there's no telling what they'll pull on you.
This is the biggest discovery in human history.
You had information being locked away that could change the trajectory for species.
It has so many beneficial impacts, including clean energy.
We should have disclosure today. We should have disclosure tomorrow. The time has come.
What else you want to know?
Oh yeah, well, hey, let's get the list out. That is a very long list. Want the truth, though, and with proof nonetheless. Until then, let's move on. Here we go.
This is Dr. Hal Puthoff. He started the psychic spy program for the CIA and the Army at Stanford Research Institute, and he is behind a lot of the gateway method working with Bob Monroe when that all combined. And this is his intern and colleague, physicist Dr. Jim Segala, and good friend of mine. You might recognize Jim Segala from the show Secret of Skinwalker Ranch. There he is with Travis Taylor. He was the lead scientist in the first couple of seasons of the TV show. That's us up at Skinwalker Ranch and the area with Jim Segala and Paul Hynek, the son of J. Allen Hynek, the head of Project Blue Book. And the rest of us are all kind of members of phase 2 of this paranormal and UFO abductee study. Jim is not just a physicist, he's also an engineer. And so he has developed and built these highly advanced sensors. They're modular, unidentified phenomena alert systems. They have gamma radiation sensors, accelerometers, infrasound. They catch EMF waves, microwave radiation, all kinds of stuff on this whole different little loadout. And I know that it looks like a bong, but it's not. It's a highly sensitive piece of scientific equipment. So for example, when I go to bed at night and let's say I wake up at 3 a.m. and I'm having a sleep paralysis episode, my body's paralyzed, I can't move. I feel this looming presence, like there's someone standing in the bedroom, looming in the corner, like this shadow figure. And all of a sudden I'm propelled into this like out of body travel vision where I see how the universe works and have this whole download of information. And then I'm like coming back into my body and I'm in the bed full of static electricity. And here's where it gets cool, because that sensor and that device actually catches the moment that that occurs. And even though the sensor is in another room in my house, I wake up from that event, I can record it into a journal, and his device actually catches and spikes in gamma radiation and microwave radiation at the exact same time as the phenomena. We even now have it set up through my Patreon page where people can go join as a member for $20 a month and access the live data off of my sensor in my house. And we're getting more up at a location that was researched with the Skinwalker Ranch research team in Nevada. So we're going to be putting sensors outside and in different buildings and things like that. And you can even get one for your house. If you're still here, that means you're interested in this, capturing data that correlates with actual paranormal phenomena and abduction type experiences. And so stay tuned. Here is part of an interview where Jim goes over a lot of phase 1 of the study up and around Skinwalker Ranch. Here you go.
People kept asking me, what did you do for your study? So it was a 3-year study, and the whole idea of the study was to determine if there was physical evidence of a signal that prompted the sensations that you get when you experience, which means that you're not getting these things currently, it's not being manifested within your head. It's not something you're making up in your head. It's something that you're being prompted to envision. Each one of these had always associated with them some kind of story that happened around that time. Some of the stuff I hold in confidence because it's all personal stuff. They're putting down their personal feelings, like, I was scared, all these things. So if you look at over here in this area, this is the microwave, very, very flat, nothing crazy going on. All of a sudden, this is what happened in that particular, I think it was like a 2-hour period or something like that. And then gamma was very, very normal, very, very normal. And all of a sudden, they had this incredible this flurry of gamma particles come in at the same time as microwave. And at that and this person, of course, didn't even know never even saw this data, never actually looked at this data. This is something that I wasn't even giving this person real-time data. In the morning, they got up and they entered into this. I'm telling you, last night was such a crazy night. If I were to ever say I was abducted, it would be last night. It was such a strange experience. This is a person that is by far the most rational person I've ever met, never had any kind of problems or any experiences or anything like this. And then that one night, this happened. And ever since then, there's been multiple experiences happen after that. So this is kind of what the whole idea of this thing is that they will go through their lives, categorizing and categorizing all of the things that happen to them. In the meantime, the devices are taking readings and looking for things that are happening in your environment, and then reporting those. So that was one of the ones that I thought was most interesting. There's another couple that were very, very interesting. This is another one that had very, very large microwave signals, very, very large microwave signals, where normally this is just, blah, very, very boring. And then they had these very large signals at this exact moment. And then they reported that, everybody, this affected the entire family. There was people that I called, there's 2 people in the house reported migraine level headaches. One person experienced a severe nosebleed. They had ringing in the ears all the afternoon. The symptoms persisted until 6 o'clock the next day. I mean, this was a significant problem for these people. So they woke up with bad dreams. They got these headaches. There was and this is multiple people. It wasn't just one particular person. And it died out. Right after that, it died out. It just so happened that one of the people was a high-level government employee. He had, prior to this, called the FBI looking for, because he thought he was being very, very paranoid at home. He thought somebody was following him, so he actually contacted the FBI.
Yeah.
After this happened, he contacted NCIS and said, something's going on. Something's going on out there. So I actually had to produce or create a report for the FBI and NCIS, which is something I've never done before, showing them this data.
They actually believed they were being targeted with some kind of a technology, like you hear these reports of people that come out of special forces or CIA, and they feel like they have Havana syndrome because they did work in Russia and things.
Exactly. And it scared the whole family was scared. They ended up actually leaving the house. They left. They sold the house and left. So, but this was, just one of the examples where the equipment and the ability for these people to log all of their experiences throughout the day. And a lot of the times these people, the people that were in the study, 2 or 3 times a day, they'll go in and say, like, I just felt great today. I had a really good day. Or then they said, I was driving down the road. All of a sudden, I just felt really weird, like somebody was looking at me. I looked up and I saw a UFO. So they would enter that at an exact moment. Then again, and I'm reading these data coming off of these equipment constantly, so I can always tell when something's happening. And then when they put in their anecdotal data, then I can marry the two and see if I get some correlation or overlaps. But I just want to make sure that Carl, I'm sure you're very aware of this, that some of these things are positive. It's not always negative. In fact, I find that when people report, because I have 300 good ones, 300 anecdotes that I've married to changes in the signal environment. But I have thousands of entries into this whole thing. So they've entered thousands of these things. And you can't, it's like almost a balance between good and bad. They said, I had an experience today. It was very euphoric. I felt great. Everything was great. And, and it kind of goes into a rhythmic thing. In fact, I have you can see this microwave one. It's very rhythmic. This is over many, many days, I think. This is over like 2 weeks or something like that, where this rhythmic thing would go up and down, and they would feel good. They would, they'd feel, maybe, at sometimes they feel like, there's somebody's watching them, and their guard is up, and sometimes you just feel great. And this actually goes along with that.
Oh yeah, you either got to be all the way in, or you're going to suffer a severe brain cramp. You will? Don't do it. Do what this one did. Here we go.
On December 9th of 2023, a hospital surgeon is freaking out after seeing something that she couldn't believe. According to her, she was inside the operating room filming a video for her surgical students when she had to stop and leave immediately. As she states, something was watching her. Now, this video comes from a social account that doesn't post anything like this. All the videos on this page are purely educational and meant for students who want to become surgical technicians. But this video, however, was posted for anyone who could help explain this. Tiffany has no idea what was captured, but hopes that someone does. This is her footage. Watch.
At chromic catgut, the difference are The difference is, I'm so sorry, my brain. Okay, here we go. Okay. So here we have two different kinds of sutures, polypropylene monofilament and chromic catgut. The difference between these two is that this one is dissolvable and it's animal derived. And the sutures last anywhere from 60 to 90 days. Literally turning up right now.
You fine?
Yes. Can you please just show yourself? Just give me a sign. Do whatever you want.
Oh yeah, what do you think? Any medical professionals? Has that ever happened to you? And if it did, what would you do? Oh yeah. Let's move on. Here we go.
Now here's the most recently released photo of Bigfoot. The new exclusive photo was released on January 8th, 2025. It was uploaded with the caption, "Bigfoot mid-transition captured on a trail camera. Check it out." It looks like a Bigfoot coming out of a tree or something. The man analyzing the photo says, "It's crazy, catching it in what could be a mid-portal transfer if you want to call it that." It's often believed that Bigfoots and other cryptids alike are interdimensional beings. The theory states that they can maneuver between different realms, and that's why they're able to stay hidden so well. When in danger or when they need to hide, they just transfer from dimension to dimension, able to keep their existence hidden. Here's what else the uploader points out.
This is kind of crazy. Is it juvenile? Is it not? You can actually click on it whenever you're in like editing photos and it actually pulls the creature out, showing this is a real creature and it's not just some kind of AI flat creature where it kind of makes it look like a drawing. Filmed in North Carolina.
Also, as I enhance the photo's brightness and quality, you can see the creature looks super realistic. It has dark sunken eyes, a smaller nose, and a straight mouth. It also appears way more skinny and smaller than a typical Bigfoot. Could it be a baby? Some interesting evidence to say the least.
Huh. Could be AI, huh? But hey, looks good. cool Bigfoot. What do you think? Are they out there? They are. Here's another one. Let's move on.
This is Man vs. Wild, and I'm going to show you how to survive in this beautiful forest. First thing you'll need is some sticks. With sticks, we can make a campfire. So let's gather some up. Try not to get the moist ones. They won't like that well. Okay, so we got some sticks. Now we'll need some leaves and some dry ones.
Now, hopefully you guys saw it there, but it comes from behind this tree here, and it's probably as high as the cross branch, and it's because it's probably maybe 6 feet behind it. But rocks are thrown first, so he gets up there. He's going to start talking, and there the rocks are thrown. Just watch it again. Do you see the rocks? And we'll slow it down here so you can kind of see the rocks are being thrown kind of at him. There you can see them. And they're kind of thrown from the general direction on the other side of the tree. And you can almost, you can see them coming from.
Well, you really got to look hard. You got to zoom in. Stop. Look. Is it true? And is it there? Here's more.
You see what I'm saying? See you, buddy. It's okay. Oh, you can see the white of his eyes in the corner. I think I figured the secret out a little bit.
Well, something was there, huh? Really creeped him out. It was pretty creepy just watching it. What do you think? Was it real? Let me know what you think. Now, let's look up. Here we go.
For decades, a shadow program known as Solar Warden has allegedly operated in deep space, using secret advanced technology far beyond public knowledge. While governments deny its existence, insiders whisper of an elite fleet patrolling the stars, built with reverse-engineered UFO tech. If true, this means the world's elite have access to interstellar travel, while keeping the masses distracted with staged sightings and misinformation. But that's just the beginning. A much darker plan looms: the staged alien invasion. Leaked documents suggest a massive hoax is being prepared to unite the world under fear, forcing extreme control measures. Using advanced holograms, hidden military spacecraft, and psychological manipulation, they'll make the world believe we are under attack. The goal: a global government with absolute power, justified by a common enemy. When the invasion begins, will you question what's real, or fall for the illusion?
Well, will you? What would you do? Hey, remember the egg? Let's find out what was in it, what was allegedly in it, and what did he have to say, and what happened?
How are you, Sest? Good. Thank you for allowing me to ask you these questions once more. It's kind of tiresome. Okay. By the way, did you read what was said about you on the 4chan forums?
Yes. Yeah.
Did you find it amusing?
Interesting. Good. Questions were strange, but many was different. And
I guess that's just how we are. Now, I know you hate these...
I don't hate. Anger is not an emotion for my people.
I'm sorry.
Don't be. You did nothing wrong.
If you don't mind, back to the question. Why were you in that cave alone?
As I said countless times, I was alone.
Yes, but why? I mean, how does the technology that kept you alive work? Is it a form of stasis? We know it's not cryogenic.
Humans must evolve alone. Otherwise, if I help you with how you say technology, I won't be better than the ones who made you, the ones who corrupted you.
You refuse to answer.
I refuse to disgrace you and your ancestors.
Okay, that's fine. How old is the vessel, as you call it? You call it the vessel. We call it the hex shape.
It was built by my people 3,000 years ago in the land you once called Hem.
Kemet.
Hem.
Where is Kemet? Hold on. Hold on a sec. Okay, here. In the phone. Where in the map is Kemet?
The one that says Egypt.
Oh, okay, Egypt.
This
Okay, I see. Okay. It's old then. It's really old. I know you don't want to answer this, but I have, question. I have to pose a question again. How does it work? How do we get inside?
I said this before. No. Must I repeat myself?
I know, but it's for the British Ministry of Defense. You know, there are many countries involved, many nations who want your help to. I won't force you to talk if you don't want to.
Why do you want my vessel? So you can kill more people?
Where your ally says.
But, sir, you are not an ally to your brother, the other human. I know that if I give you the key to my vessel, you will kill again and again and again.
That technology could save lives.
Hands? That is not the first option, is it? You want second option, powers, conquest, oppression.
Very well. I won't bother you again. You know, that's just been my job. Can you tell me about the technology where you were sleeping?
No.
Okay. Not gonna barge. Not feeling generous today, are we?
I want to help your kind becoming better. Then we'll talk technology. Would you give weapon to a child? No. The Barbie would hurt themselves and other people.
Good point. Okay. What questions can you answer then?
All technology-related questions will be rejected.
Mathematical questions?
Please. Yeah.
Can you identify the sequence of prime numbers within your numeral system?
Prime numbers are fundamental in mathematics and might be, let's say, universally recognized. You could say that's how God created or emanated everything.
We had time to understand what the Riemann hypothesis is? No? Can you explain it to me? Can you give us an answer?
Yes. The Riemann hypothesis is correct. All non-trivial zeros of the Z the function lie on the line RE equal 1/2. It is based on the symmetry of prime numbers and energy stability in the mathematical field.
Okay. Can you? I know I've asked you this before, but I have to. I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself. Can you tell me if there was life on Mars?
As I stated before, yes, it was annihilated by your makers. Their civilization reached quite the developed state. They were, how you say, good people. People who loved each other as one unit. Your markers didn't love anyone but their self.
I think you called it ego yesterday, didn't you?
Ego. I love it. It is quite similar to a language of a people that we interacted with very long ago.
Oh, you spoke about this before. The Proto-Europeans. You've studied them, right? Didn't you?
Good people. Sadly, their desire conquest conquered their hearts.
About this Mars civilization, were they human like us?
No, but some managed to come, however, your, how do you call it?
In English, DNA. This is would be DNA.
DNA. Your human DNA was not compatible with theirs. They couldn't mate, thus they disappeared.
Are there still like there are the bodies or mummies of these people from Mars still on Earth?
Yes, but I will not disclose location.
I'm asking you this because, as you might have noticed, I've sent you a video of the so-called Mexican mummies. Did you get to see it?
Yes.
Okay. Can you tell me if it's real, if it's not real?
Yes. I believe so. Yes.
Good. What were these beings? Who were these beings? Are they connected to the ones that came from Mars?
Chimera, mix of sentient creature, a remnant of your makers.
Chimera. Oh, you mean hybrids? So they're a mix.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's it. Also,
Yeah, that's pretty crazy, pretty deep. But is it true? And does it fit up with this? What you're about ready to hear? Is this actually real? Let me know.
It's February 6th, and I have another message from the aliens. I'm an interdimensional communicator, which means I can talk to aliens and angels and other interdimensional beings. Today's message is the most intense one I've ever received, so I do need to ask you to brace yourself. Make sure you're well-resourced for this message. Last week, I shared the sad news that alien Sest was on the Black Hawk helicopter that crashed into the jet in D.C. a couple weeks ago. And for those of you who missed my previous videos about him, Alien Sest was our alien ambassador who was discovered in Antarctica and then retrieved along with his egg-shaped vessel. Until recently, Alien Sest was in the custody of the United Nations, who conducted the interview that was leaked. Here's the photo of Alien Sest. This is not one of my AI renderings. It is a photo that was leaked. I think it's actually a photo of a computer monitor, so the quality isn't great, but this specific image is a real photo, not AI. He could have been easily mistaken for a human, except he was 8 feet tall. Also, here are some photos of the egg-shaped vessel he was found with. For scale, Sest told me it's about 20 feet long by 18 feet wide. Shortly after I shared the news of his death with you, I was doing my normal morning meditation and connection time, and I guess I had Sest on my mind, and so I just was checking in and asking how he was doing. And the response I got was, ask him yourself, which was news to me because I didn't even know I could contact aliens outside of the Galactic Federation that I had been working with to that point. And I couldn't connect with Alien Sest when he was on the planet, but once he got back to the galactic realm, apparently that was something I could do. So I did. I started by thanking him for being our alien ambassador, and then just checking in, making sure that his recovery was going well. And then I asked the question that's on everyone's mind, which was, what happened in that Black Hawk helicopter? He gave me a little information, but I could tell he didn't want to give me details. So I thanked him again and ended the conversation. Then yesterday, again, I was doing my morning meditation and connection time, and I asked the aliens, okay, what do you want me to share today? And it was Alien Sest who came forward. He was ready to tell his story. When I heard about what really happened, I actually wasn't sure if I should share it with you. There are some details that might make some of you uncomfortable. But today, Alien Sest connected with me again and assured me that he does want you to know what happened and why. So again, please brace yourself. Make sure you're well-resourced for this message that includes some potentially distressing details. And as usual, I received his message telepathically. I typed it up on my iPad and then checked in with him to make sure he agreed with my interpretation. And now it's ready for you. Here's the message from Alien Sest. I have completed my recovery process, and now I am ready to share my story. The story begins more than 3,000 years ago in ancient lands we knew as Kemet. Today, you call it Egypt. That was a wonderfully abundant and joyful time in Earth's history. Humans and aliens walked the Earth together. The aliens brought gifts of energy, healing, and spirituality. You humans received our gifts with love and gratitude. Kemet was what you would call our primary base station. The pyramids we built still stand today. They were our energy centers. They were used for soul healing and ascension. They generated the energy we used to power our flying vessels and ourselves. We knew then that you would need us now. We built the egg-shaped vessel as a time capsule that contains valuable resources for us to share with you today. I was involved in building the vessel, and I volunteered to be the alien companion to this technology. We transported the vessel to the location now known as Antarctica, along with the human form I would need in the future. We prepared them to be safely hidden until the ideal time. The discovery of my vessel was made in your year 2022, and the retrieval occurred in January of this year. My human form was in stasis for over 3,000 years. When I awoke, my assignment was to escort the vessel and confirm it did not create a threat to the planet. My vessel and I were transported by the retrieval team to a location controlled by your United Nations. There, I was interviewed repeatedly. I had messages I was supposed to deliver and information I was supposed to keep secret until trust was earned. The most valuable secret was the key to my vessel. They repeatedly asked me, and I repeatedly explained my reasons for refusal. I knew they wished to use the vessel as a weapon. I knew they wished to use it for power and control. They did not harm me, but they were relentless in their questioning. The United Nations eventually became frustrated because they knew I would not give them the key of my own free will. The UN representatives, who treated me with respect, were pressured into releasing me to a different group of people who were less concerned with respect and free will. They claimed control and took custody of my body. They moved me to a location in the United States where they planned to use violence to retrieve the information I would not give them willingly. They did not know I could read their minds, but I knew exactly what was planned for me. The vessel was safe and protected, but the people now in control planned to use force to gain access to it. I was not concerned for the well-being of my physical form. My concern was regarding their intentions for the vessel in my care. I knew they would stop at nothing to gain access to the power of my vessel, and I knew it would lead to irrevocable damage to the planet. I was not willing to allow that to happen. The last leg of my journey was in a military helicopter. I was not listed as a passenger. I was considered important cargo. I recognized my best strategy to keep planet Earth protected was to use this opportunity to destroy my human form. I regretted the other lives that would be lost by fulfilling this plan, but the alternative would have led to much greater loss of life and significant damage to the planet. I would have preferred a solution with no loss of life other than my physical form, but that was not possible. I took over control of the helicopter with my mind. I made sure to keep us over water so there would be no loss of life on the ground, but there was no viable way to avoid innocent casualties. Ultimately, as you know, I connected with the dead. It was not a decision I made lightly. If I had any other option to protect the planet, I would have taken it. But I could not allow the dark forces to gain access to the vessel through me. It was a devastating solution to an even more devastating problem. And with that action, my mission was complete. That was the end of Alien Sest's message, but since I don't know him as well as the other aliens that I work with, it was important for me to confirm and validate what we heard from him. So I checked in with Alien Enki, who's my go-to for anything really, but specifically confirmation and validation. Here's what Alien Enki had to add to that message. As we shared previously, we were not surprised by this outcome. We did not order Sest to take the actions he took, but we trusted him to make the correct decisions for his mission. We mourn for the families of the innocent victims, and we are deeply saddened by the losses, but we do not disagree with his judgment. We too saw the intentions of the humans in control of his planned interrogation. The loss of life would have been catastrophic if Alien Sest had not taken action to prevent the key from being discovered. The souls who perished immediately returned to the heavenly realm, where we welcomed them as ascended souls who gave their lives for the greater good of the planet. By fulfilling their mission, they cleared all of their karmic debt and now are preparing to ascend to the higher realms. So that's today's message, and obviously it was a really intense one. I'm already bracing myself for the comment section on this video. But like Alien Sest said, it was a devastating solution to an even more devastating problem. So today I'm going to end by suggesting that we all take a moment to express our gratitude to Alien Sest and all the souls who helped save us from a much more catastrophic outcome. It's hard for our human brains to comprehend the scale of this, but I do see it as another example of the aliens protecting humanity and the planet. It's also an example of calling upon the darkness to find a solution to an existential problem. I believe them when they say there was no solution that wouldn't have included loss of life. It might not seem this way to some of you, but I view this as the most compassionate way that Alien Sest could complete his mission and serve the greatest good with love.
Oh, what do you think there? Was it true? Was it real? And did it actually happen? If you're here, thanks. Hit that subscribe button. Join me at the next time, at the beginning of the next one. I hope you had a great day.